Stay tuned to hear how super simple it is to sell silverware on eBay, and you don't have to be an expert to do it. Hello YouTube, this is Barbara from California. This podcast is for new eBayers so you can listen, learn, and list on eBay all at the same time. You need to know what to buy when you're out there shopping for your items to resell on eBay. Keep watching your YouTubes and listening to podcasts. Find out what those other eBayers are doing. On this episode, I'll talk to you about a few items that I bought and sold, but especially why I bought them. These are items that you can find when you're shopping at thrift shops, garage sales, and estate sales. So keep your eyes open. This first item is something that I found at a Goodwill thrift shop. Now, we all have thrift shops, and you should always look through the men's sweaters rack. Try to bypass the white and cream color sweaters because I have found there's usually some kind of issue with those, some kind of little spot somewhere. So go to another color if they're arranged by colors and start looking at all them. So I go through all the sweaters, flip, 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 flip. I'm looking for brands also, as well as the sweater if it looks like something that jumps out at me. Some of the good brands to find for men's sweaters are LL Bean, Woolrich, Brooks Brothers, Ralph Lauren. Things that are made of wool, maybe from Italy, and especially cashmere. Any sweater that is a cashmere sweater or made of a little bit of cashmere is still great. People love cashmere sweaters and they always sell. So I'm flipping through the sweaters and something did jump out at me, and it was a beautiful knit sweater that was navy blue with light blue and white stripes across the front and the upper arms, and a big spell out word on the chest, and it was Villanova. Now, I didn't know what Villanova was, but it looked like a very well made quality, beautiful sweater. It looked like it had never been worn, and it looked like some kind of college thing, which it was. I did look it up on my phone and found out that it was the Villanova Wildcats from Villanova University in Villanova, Pennsylvania. So these kind of college sweaters are very sought after because you have the college students and the college players and the college fans, and it was just a beautiful sweater. So getting back to this term spell out, it's a thing. It means that it's a word that's spelled out large on the item. Sometimes you can see this, like if you see a Tommy Hilfiger jacket where the back says Hilfiger really big in a big word, spell out, or Nautica item with Nautica down the sleeve or spelled out in the back. That is spell out, and people love the spell out stuff, and you use that term in your title and also in the description of the item. So this beautiful sweater, I found out I was the only one that had this size on eBay of this sweater. Now, people might know that they can go to the website. It was a Hill Flint brand to purchase these sweaters, or maybe they don't want to go to the website or didn't know they could go to the website, or sometimes the website will have the item but it'll be sold out completely at that time, or it's an item that's not made anymore, or they have the item but they're sold out of the particular size that they need, and that is where eBay comes in. So I bought this sweater at the Goodwill for $6, and I ended up selling it on eBay for $75 to that perfect person that needed this specific size of this awesome Villanova Wildcats sweater. And I made a profit of $57. Now that is a great profit for just walking into my local Goodwill and flipping through the men's sweaters, picking out this beautiful looking sweater, looking it up, and paying $6. That's a pretty good profit. So when you're at your Goodwills, make sure you go through the men's sweaters rack. There's some gems to be found. Okay, the featured item for this podcast is something that you can find everywhere. I found this at a high school. It was at a community sale held at a high school in their large room with tables and tables and tables of stuff, and I spotted it a mile away. Here's how you can spot it. It's wrapped up in a Ziploc bag, usually with a rubber band around it. And of course, it is silverware or flatware. Use those two words interchangeably. It really means the same thing these days. So silverware is always usually found, like I said, in a Ziploc bag. And the reason that people do this when they're selling it, of course, is so you can see what it is inside the bag and it's held in there nice and tight. I've found it countless times sealed in a Ziploc bag. So if you see that, kind of go toward it and see if that's what it is, because when you find silverware, that is a great find. So when I see it, I open the bag and look at it and hold it in my hands. And just basically, if it has some weight to it or it looks even remotely valuable, it's good. If it's a matching set, any kind of silverware is good. You don't have to be any kind of expert to know what it is or to make a decision. Should I pick this up? If it has some weight to it and looks nice, any kind of pattern, pick it up. What I mean by weight to it is you can feel it in your hand. Some silverware I have come across as very, very cheap and lightweight. Just super cheap and lightweight, and this is horrible, and I just know it's of zero value. Put it back. So some of the patterns in these pieces of silverware are simple. It's usually all the same stuff. It's a roses pattern. Maybe it's kind of plain with just grooves or lines on it, or maybe it's the handles are rounded or smooth round edges or scallop edge, or maybe it can be very ornate, extremely ornate with a cutout design, or just tapered, comes down to a streamlined taper, or maybe squared off, or maybe just with a swirl in it. So all of these are the basic designs of the silverware, and you don't have to know what it is. Just pick it up and research it later. So here's what you do. You read the back of the utensil. There's always some words on the back of it. And for instance, I'm picking up a fork here that I have, and it says 1881 Rogers Stainless Oneida Limited. Right off the bat, stainless is great. That means it's stainless steel. People want that. Oneida, very popular brand. Right there. These are two great things. 1881. I don't know what that means. Does that mean it was from 1881? No, maybe not. Maybe it's when the Rogers company was originated. And it doesn't matter. Just type those same words in eBay. 1881, Rogers Stainless Oneida Ltd. And guess what? Immediately, what will pop up is something exactly what you have or similar to what you have. And you just simply match the listings to what you have and find out the name of the pattern. The name of the pattern is, I don't think I've ever seen it on a utensil itself. It always just has the brand name. So that's where you have to do just a little bit of research. If you want to delve in deeper to this, you can always go to replacements.com. That's a site where people go and buy their little I need 2 more spoons of this, and they know what it is. And then at the very last resort, if you have something you just can't find the pattern name, you can take it to your local antique shop and they can help you find out what it is. But basically, type in those words, go to eBay, find the picture of what your silverware looks like, and that's it. As long as it matches, that's it. That is your pattern name. People don't even probably know what the pattern is. When they're looking for, I need 4 more forks. They flip their fork over, type in those words, go onto eBay and look at the pictures. Oh, that's what I need. They really don't even know or care what the pattern name is. They just want something that matches what they have in their drawer. So that's what's wonderful about finding these silverware sets. You're going to find it because these are things that were made, within the last few decades. It's not like you have something back from the 1700s or, that you can't find. And if you do, that's fantastic. That's an antique, and maybe you would want to go to your antique shop and ask them about it. But all of this silverware we find around is stuff that people have in their drawers, and they just want their little replacement pieces or buy a whole set so they'll always have enough of their favorite silverware. So take it home and sort through it. You don't even have to wash it. It's usually in fine shape, and they're all scuffed with use. Look at your own silverware in your drawer. It's all scuffed with use, and people understand that when they buy it. I do throw out pieces that might have damage. It's called disposable disposal damage, and you know what that means. It's gone down the disposal and flipped around in there, and it got all mangled up. Just throw a fork out like that, or throw a spoon that's edge is all nicked up from the disposal. Just don't even deal with those, because now you're going to have to say, well, one of the forks has a disposal nicks in it. Just don't do it. Eliminate it and get your normal set. It all has to match. And by the way, any knives, maybe with a tiny tip broken off, you don't want to have to explain. One knife has no tip. Just get rid of it. And then assemble your set. Any quantity is okay. It doesn't matter if you have 21, 47, 33. It doesn't matter how many. It doesn't have to match. Like, the numbers don't have to match. Like, I have 8 knives, 8 forks. It doesn't matter. It can be any quantity. As long as you have a matching set of silverware, people will want to buy it. So in this set, if you also have the serving pieces, then the value of your set has gone up. Serving pieces are like those large spoons, like a gravy spoon, or a slotted spoon, or a casserole spoon, or a large fork, which is called a meat fork, or maybe you might have a ladle included, or a pie server. All of those are serving pieces, and those increase the value of your set because people want those serving pieces. So what I do is I lay them out on a white background and put them in a way that is desirable to look at. Line them up neatly, maybe fan out all the forks, or line the knives up straight but fan the spoons. Make it look very appealing in the picture. And photograph, it's pretty easy to photograph. Photograph that whole lot. I like to take quadrants, 4 photographs of a closer, the quadrants of that picture, and then some close-ups of the handles and the ends, the tines, and also turn them over, because people can confirm that sometimes the designs run onto the back of the pieces, and they can see that, oh yes, this is what I have. I see that there's also the design on the back, and it helps the person match it exactly, and also photograph the words on the back too, so they can be sure that what they're seeing matches exactly what they have in their drawer. As many pictures and descriptive ways that you can prove to them that this is their silverware, that's going to help it sell. Sometimes you'll find silverware at a thrift shop that's just scattered in a drawer or a box, and if you see any kind of cool looking handle or something, then definitely pick it up and look into it. I have found sets with colored handles, like colored plastic handles. One was a clear blue plastic. They don't even have to be really valuable, but you've got your fans of the color blue, and people look for blue silverware handles. I found really pretty plastic, clear glass looking, like cut glass, but it was just plastic, clear plastic that looked like cut glass, and it was just really pretty. So you might see pieces scattered in a box at a thrift shop, and if there's a matching bunch of them, pick through and get that set and call it a set. They sometimes don't care to bundle it up. They just throw it in a big box and it's loose and scattered. But pick up your sets. Sometimes you'll see long spoons, like iced tea spoons, and you can sell those separately. Find out what the pattern is, put it up on eBay and sell a set of iced tea spoons, even 6 or 8. Sometimes I find the seafood forks or cocktail forks that are used for eating crab. You can just gather those, pick them out and gather them together and sell a set of your cocktail forks or seafood forks. So there's all types of different silverware out there. And if it looks good and feels good and seems like something that is appealing that someone would want, then just pick it up. It's usually always very cheap. So the silverware that I bought, this bag in the Ziploc bag, that was $3. That's all I spent for this set of, I think it was 37 pieces of silverware. And it said Lyon stainless. And I think that's all it said on it. Lyon stainless. And very, very, very easily find out Lyon is in France. And there's a company called International Lyon, Lyon. And then you type in what it looks like. It had these kind of a plain scroll pattern, like 2 rows of scrolls. Found it very quickly. It was a popular pattern, and it was called Romanesque. And you can do a little research. I just like to poke around, and I'm a curious person, so I wondered what Romanesque was, and it was an architectural style in France. And so it made sense. I looked at these buildings, and yeah, it's a scrolly pattern, and that's what it was. It was Lyon stainless, and I knew it was Romanesque by doing very, very little research. And this pattern was from the 70s. This information will be seen all over the other listings, and so gather what they're saying too to add to yours. I noticed it said from the 70s. A lot of them said that, like the actual years. So you can put that in your listing. So anyway, this set of 37 silverware pieces for $3. I listed it on eBay, and a person from Utah bought it for $100, which netted me a profit of $83. So that is just there is a bill. There's a trip to the grocery store. That's a great profit for just spotting that Ziploc bag of silverware. Remember, if it kind of feels good and heavy and it has a pretty design or even a plain design, but it looks nice, pick it up, get rid of any damaged ones. Any quantity is okay. Any odd number is okay. Do a little bit of research and find out what the pattern is if you can. Even if you don't know the pattern, you can still sell it by just describing what it looks like. And if your set has serving pieces, it's even better. Take great photographs, as many as you can, and make sure to get the backs of the utensils in there too. Get these sets of silverware out into the world available for just that right person to come along and be able to buy it and enjoy it and treasure it. Well, California is known for its gold nuggets. And at the end of every episode, I like to give you a California gold nugget of knowledge, a pro tip that should help you with your eBay selling. Today's gold nugget of knowledge is treat your customers like gold. If one of your eBay customers sends you a message through eBay asking you anything about an item that you have for sale, or maybe if they have an issue with an item they bought, reply to them as soon as possible and give them everything that they ask for. If they are asking about some questions about an item that you're selling, be very polite and courteous in your message, and maybe open it with hello and thank you for your interest. Read their question carefully and answer everything that they wanted to know. That shows them that you care about your business and you care about your customers. Also, when it comes to shipping your items, make sure you ship them correctly and with the right packaging, and make sure they arrive there safely. Pack them nicely and safely, and add that packing list in there. All this shows the buyer that you are a professional seller and you care about the item that you're shipping, and you care about them as your customer. Keep your feedback score high, 100% if possible. Strive to become a top-rated seller. When you're top-rated, you get a gold seal icon in your search items and inside your listing. So when someone is searching for items, they might see the same item being sold by several different sellers, but you may be the only one with that gold seal on it. And several times I've bought something from the gold seal seller if it was the same price, because I just trust that one's better. Having that gold seal means you have been recognized by eBay as consistently delivering outstanding customer service. I have even bought from the gold seal person if the item was a little bit higher than all the rest. I still really feel that I can trust that gold seal seller, and that's what you want to be. So what we care about is providing good service and keeping our feedback score high and being a top-rated seller, replying to our buyers as soon as possible. All those things are important to show that you're a professional seller. And treating your customers like gold means more eBay sales for you. Well, that is it for today. I thank you so much for listening. I'm very happy to be able to share my eBay knowledge with you. You know, you can find these items out there, and there is enough for everybody. Leave your comments below. I'd love to hear stories about items you found, or maybe if you found some of the items that I mentioned in this podcast. You can email me at barbarafromcalifornia@gmail.com. I hope you all have a happy, joyful, sunshiny day. This is Barbara from California, signing out. Bye.